Good morning and welcome to another fantastic episode of Daybreak. I'm your host, Royce Jones.
And I'm your host, Taylor Fife.
Our top stories this morning start with what road closures will be affecting your commute.
And what spectacular addition is coming to Point Park's campus.
Wake up and smell the roses, Pittsburgh, because here comes Daybreak.
Start your morning with us, only on Daybreak.
Well, Taylor, the Pittsburgh weather, man, I'm telling you what, rain and thunderstorms one day, snow the next, sunshine the other. We cannot catch a break from this crazy weather. I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, I know, me either. It's been up and down, 60 degrees, 30 degrees, snow and sleet. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can't. I'm at this point, I'm kind of over it. I'm ready to break my summer clothes and my spring clothes out, pack the coats away, but it seems like we just cannot catch a break from Father Winter.
Yeah, I know. Well, we have another familiar face back on. Alex Grubbs, can you tell us about the weather?
Well, Royce, Taylor, the break is not over. Today on Friday, it's going to be rainy. It's already raining outside, but it's going to get a little bit cooler on Saturday. We're going to see some snow. It's going to be 39 degrees. The low temperature is 23 degrees, but sun will come out on Sunday. Well, there's some clouds out there. It's going to go up to 44, but not much of a change. As we move into the rest of the week, on Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be rainy, up 46 degrees, around the same temperature. I guess we're not going to be able to escape this rainy weather. And then by the end of the week, it's going to be overcast. The temperatures will go up, 54, 62, so you could bring out your jean jacket, but I'm going to be in Las Vegas this weekend, so I feel bad for you guys. You guys have to go through this. I will be in 80-degree weather, so this is the weather that we have to get accustomed to here in Pittsburgh. Back to you two.
Okay, Alex, thank you. I'm a little bit jealous about that, but it's okay. We can talk more later about it.
Yeah. All right, well, here's your city and campus news. Mayor Bill Peduto announced an executive order in a news conference on Tuesday that will expand the amount of paid time off city employees can receive if they were victims of domestic violence. Peduto stated that a committee of members from the Women's Law Project, Pittsburgh Action Against Rape, and the Women's Center and Shelter of Greater Pittsburgh will create a detailed paid safe leave policy over the next 3 months. The policy would apply to around 600 non-unionized city employees. Peduto stated that the city plans to explore a similar option for a policy that would apply to the city's approximately 2,600 union-represented workers. In the press conference, Peduto stated that, quote, the approach prevents workers from using vacation, personal, or unpaid time to handle fallout from domestic violence, end quote. Peduto also stated that he hopes the new order will become a model for other employers to follow.
A new downtown Pittsburgh road closure could affect your commute to and from campus. City officials said on Tuesday that they will be closing the intersection of Smithfield Street and Oliver Avenue starting on Saturday at 7 a.m. The intersection will reopen on April 15th. City officials also stated the closure is necessary in order to build a new tower crane for the construction work that is happening at the 350 Oliver Avenue building. Bus routes in that area will also be suspended until the 15th.
In a press conference on Tuesday, Allegheny County District Attorney Stephen Zappala stated that the fatal shooting of Mark Daniels, who exchanged gunfire with police back in February, was justified. Daniels was shot and killed on February 11th by police in Homewood after the city police stated that he fired first at officers responding to the scene. Zappala stated that, quote, what is certain at this point in the evidence is that the officer was fired upon 3 times, end quote, and that, quote, the officer might be dead if he didn't have his weapon drawn, end quote. According to a Channel 11 News investigative report, the officer who shot Daniels was involved in 2 other shootings in less than a year.
After a decade of planning and 2 years construction, the new Pittsburgh Playhouse is gearing up to make its much-anticipated debut. Point Park University's architect Elmer Berger told the Post-Gazette Monday the project is 85 to 90% complete. Located along Forbes Avenue between Smithfield and Wood Streets, the 92,000 square foot Playhouse is set to open this August, and its main theater will seat up to 5 260 guests. Curtains will close at the Oakland Playhouse next month with final shows of Robin Hood and Fancy Nancy the Musical. There will also be a farewell celebration at the Oakland Playhouse on June 18th from 7 to 10 p.m. if you'd like to say goodbye.
Have you ever heard of Net Impact? It's a globally recognized organization geared towards social and environmental change. They have nearly 300 student and professional chapters, and now a graduate chapter is coming to Point Park. They'll focus on community engagement, networking, and career advancement. The program has been in the works for about a year, and now it's finally getting off the ground. Now, they're also looking for people, preferably grad students, with a passion for community engagement to join as members. Chapter president and founder Brittany McDonald says she has plenty of spots to fill and encourages anyone interested in social and environmental change to apply.
Remember last week we told you about the Point Park Cabs plate smashing event happening in Village Park? Well, make sure you bring an empty stomach because following that event, another event called Pizza Palooza. Happening the same day, Cabs Special Events Coordinator Carmela Cuomo calls it the Battle of the Pizzas, featuring pizza from Pizza Fiesta, Pizza Parma, Giovanni's, Genoa's, Joe and Pie, and more all around the city. And an odd combination though, but the theme for the event is SpongeBob. Inspired by Krabby Patty Pizza, Pizza Palooza will also include SpongeBob-inspired games like a Krabby Patty race and Jellyfish Fields. The event is set for April 16th at 9 p.m. in the Lawrence Hall Ballroom. If you want to check it out, admission is free.
I think Cab is just on a roll with these events they're cooking up.
That's what I'm saying. We got Cabcella coming up. We have so many different types of cab events.
And that pizza made me so hungry too.
I know. Me too. I can't wait.
Well, coming up after the break, how are the Pittsburgh Penguins gearing up for playoffs?
And YouTube under fire, but not in the way you think. Stay tuned because you'll find it all here on Daybreak.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, evening TV. You miss your old familiar friends, but waiting just around the bend. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, there's a looks of somebody who needs you. When you're lost out there and you're all alone, life is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look, everywhere you look.
Spending just 7 minutes climbing stairs each day cuts your risk of a heart attack in half over 10 years. Sure, elevators are convenient, but you burn twice the number of calories just going upstairs than you do while jogging. Think about how long you spend waiting for elevators. The average person spends the equivalent of 2 years waiting for elevators over the course of their lifetime. Don't let that be you. Save time and increase energy. Next time, take the stairs.
Let's go.
Welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Kiara Fry with your latest sports news. Monday was opening day for the Pirates at PNC Park. The Pirates defeated the Minnesota Twins 5-4, and one player made a memorable debut in Pittsburgh. Colin Moran hit a grand slam over the Clemente wall in the bottom of the first inning. Moran had 16 games with the Houston Astros under his belt before being traded to Pittsburgh for former Pirates pitcher Garrett Cole. Moran is only the third player to hit a grand slam in a Pittsburgh home opener according to stats. The only other two players to do so are Hall of Famers Ralph Kiner and Roberto Clemente. The Pirates' record is now 4-0, making them the only remaining undefeated team in the MLB. And while the Pirates' season is just beginning, the Penguins are getting ready for the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Pens secured their position in the playoffs after defeating the Montreal Canadiens 5-2 last Saturday. This is the Penguins' 12th consecutive year in the playoffs, the longest streak in franchise history and current streak in the NHL. Pittsburgh fans are eager to see if the Pens will three-peat, but who stands in their way? The Washington Capitals are one challenge for the Penguins looking ahead to the playoffs. The two teams faced off on Sunday, ending in a 3-1 loss for the Pens and another division title for the Capitals. Philip Grubauer was the key to the Capitals' win, making 36 saves. Matt Murray couldn't quite match the Capitals' goaltender, but he stopped 31 shots in the game. 2 regular season games remain for the Penguins before the playoffs begin on April 8th. Moving from professional sports to college sports, the crazy 2018 NCAA basketball tournament has finally come to an end, and Villanova took home their second national championship in 3 years. The team came in as a #1 seed and proved their rank as they won all 6 of their games in the tournament by double digits. The Wildcats defeated Michigan 79-62 in the championship, making them the first team since 1968 to win both Final Four games by 16 or more points. Villanova's sophomore guard, Dante DiVincenzo, had an amazing performance in the game, scoring 31 points and taking home the most outstanding player of the Final Four as a non-starter. That's it for sports. Let's head over to the Daybreak News Desk with Brianna McCall. What do we need to know in national news?
Thanks, Kiera. According to police, a woman opened fire on 3 employees, Tuesday afternoon at YouTube's headquarters in San Bruno, California. Suspect Nazim Agdam of San Francisco killed herself shortly after wounding 3 people who police say she had no relation to. 2 of the victims have been released from the hospital, but 1 still remains in critical condition. According to CNN, Agdam practiced shooting at a gun range prior to her attack. Agdam is also a longtime social media user who has multiple accounts on YouTube's platform. However, police believe it is the policies of YouTube that caused Agdam to be upset and motivated the shooting based off of her videos that show rants towards YouTube. According to BBC News, police are going into further investigation of Tuesday's attack. In other news, Baton Rouge Police Chief Murphy Paul has announced last Friday that he fired the officer who shot and killed Alton Sterling. Back in July of 2016, Alton Sterling, a 37-year-old African-American man, was shot multiple times in front of a convenience store while resisting arrest. Blaine Salamone and Howie Lake II are the 2 officers who were involved in the time of the incident. According to WGNO Police Chief Paul is terminating Salamone effective Wednesday. Officer Howie will also be suspended for 3 days without pay for the fatal shooting of Sterling. Paul reported that other officers have threatened to quit after announcing his decision. According to theadvocate.com, both officers have violated the command of temper policy. The decision Paul has made also raised questions and protests for other cases that involved white police officers in the killing of black men. That's all for national news. Now let's hop on over to our 2 terrific tulips, Royce and Taylor.
Thank you, Brianna. After the break, we have a Point Park faculty member coming in to talk about all of their upcoming adventure.
Stay with us because you'll find it only here on Daybreak.
I was you, I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. If I was you, I'd wanna be me
Spending just 7 minutes climbing stairs each day cuts your risk of a heart attack in half over 10 years. Sure, elevators are convenient, but you burn twice the number of calories just going upstairs than you do while jogging. Think about how long you spend waiting for elevators. The average person spends the equivalent of 2 years waiting for elevators over the course of their lifetime. Don't let that be you. Save time and increase energy. Next time, take the stairs.
Let's go.
Welcome back to Daybreak. Now today we have some very special guests on the show and some familiar faces. We have Professor Helen Fallon, Nicole Cost, and Josh Croup. And now Professor Helen Fallon is the professor for the International Media class this semester, and they're going to go on a trip to Italy from May 5th to May 18th. And we have them on the show today to talk about their trip. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Now, why don't you start by just introducing us to some of the stuff you guys do in the International Media class?
Well, what we do is, and the students can talk a little bit more about it, is we spend the semester getting ready for the trip by studying various aspects of the media of the country we go to and the culture, bring in guest speakers. The students do several assignments, share the information. This time we were very lucky. We had an Italian journalist living in Pittsburgh who came to our class a number of times, and other different people who came to get us ready, because it's a different type of experience.
Right. Now, can you also mention some of the places that you've gone just in past years?
In the past, this is our second trip to Italy. We went to Italy in 2012, but we've been to London several times, Paris, Spain, Portugal, Iceland, Ireland twice, Northern Ireland. We've been to Spain and Portugal and Germany.
Okay.
And Canada. Can't forget Canada.
Well, that's sort of close to home, but I've never been, so. I know. Now, also on that, you've been to Italy twice. What is the media like there? I mean, is there a large difference?
Well, the biggest difference, and the students can tell you even a little bit more about this, is that there's public broadcasting, which is really public. It's run by, it's funded by the government, which is very different. There's a license fee for television, so you have to pay it. You can't get around it. And the broadcasters, both radio and TV, then have a set revenue stream, which we do not have here. It doesn't mean that the government controls the content, but they do subsidize it. So that's very different. Still a lot of newspapers. They're also lagging in circulation. You know, the economic crisis of 2009 really hurt everyone, and they're still recovering from that. But they're starting to get more into digital on-site, same as us, but I think they're probably behind from what we can tell. Big, healthy PR advertising areas, some that are specific to Italy, they were created there, others that are affiliated with the United States and other countries, agencies.
And something that we learned whenever the Italian journalist was here was that they're licensed over there. They have to take tests to become journalists and become official journalists over there, which I thought was really interesting.
That's crazy. Correct. Yeah, that's what Anna Vitaliani, who works for RAI in Trieste, which is close to Venice, told us. And she had worked in Venice as well. She's a TV broadcaster.
Okay.
Now I'm curious, for the students, other than this being a trip to Italy, which I would love to go to, why did you want to go on this trip?
Well, ultimately, international media is what I want to do. I think I want to go more towards either TV or the complete other route and do PR with high fashion, Milan, stuff like that. So I definitely wanted to get immersed in it, and what other way to do that is rather than just go. So I think being here at Point Park with Helen, you can't get this experience anywhere else. I've been on multiple trips with Helen, and she always has the best things ever planned. Like, it goes above and beyond expectations.
Right. Now I want to ask, why
That's pressure.
international media, though? I mean, why international media as opposed to for you, Nicole? I mean, you said that's something you want to do. You know, why not here? Why, you know, in other places?
Well, I think the world's so big, and why would you want to be stuck in one area? I also love to speak other languages, so my minor here is modern languages, which I want to apply to the international media. So bringing this all together is just, it's kind of not even real. It kind of just happened, and it clashed, and it works.
Okay.
It works for me.
All right. And you, Josh?
And for me, I'm going out with a bang. Really, I'm going out in Italy. I'm graduating here in a few weeks, and Helen's been on me about trying to get on this international media trip for the last 4 years now, since I was a freshman. She said, you got to go on that international media trip. You got to take my class. And I haven't taken a class of Helen's until this year. So this is my first go around with Helen and my last go around here at Point Park, and it's a perfect ending in a beautiful country like Italy.
I'd say, I would certainly say, absolutely.
It's also my first class with Helen too, so.
You know, we started this in 2009, and it came from the Washington, D.C. trips, which we started in about 2001. And what we realized is everyone can't afford to study abroad. It's very, very expensive. So the short course format will be in Italy, as we said, for 2 weeks. But, you know, it is a course. That's what I think. And we're packed. From Rome to Sisi, we have a little bit of more cultural value there. But in Rome, we're going to the Vatican Media, we're going to La Repubblica, we're going to Enel Utility with an in-house TV broadcasting facility. You know, there's tons of things that we're doing. Others in Milan, we're going to RAI, and we're also going to Hearst Media there. Versa Marsteller, I'm just starting to even forget after a while. There's just so much planned. And then we have some special things. They're going to get a chance to do some video production, which we'll unveil later. We have to keep some surprises from the trip. No. There's got to be something we have to hold back, because I'll still believe it when it happens.
Okay. All right. Any hints? Can we maybe get a hint or two?
No hint.
Let's just say students will have something for their portfolio
Awesome.
when we're done.
Okay. Now, since this is a...
And that's another part of it, too, is they're creating their own website from this class. So you'll be able to see everything that they do.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys enjoy. I'm slightly jealous. I know
I
Taylor,
know.
too, that
I'm
we
so
can't
jealous.
be there. But you guys have fun. Enjoy it. And Josh, I hope you go out with a bang. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Well, after the break, what digital music service is becoming a publicly traded company?
And what celebrity hunk is now on the market? We have the news you need here only on Daybreak.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do.
What's one word to describe CAB?
Welcoming.
Community.
Creative.
Experiences.
Family. Openness.
Pineapple.
The Campus Activities Board is a student-run organization that consists of 7 different committees. Each focuses on event planning, marketing, and administrative activities. Join us in organizing the juiciest events on campus, from late-night bingo to festive dances to our team bonding meetings. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Point Park Cap, or like us on Facebook at Campus Activities Board at Point Park University.
Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Josh Troop alongside Jess Paterchak.
Defending his decision to kick out 15 Cuban diplomats from the United States.
Thanks, Allison. Fitness on Demand has returned to Point Park.
Residents fear that Mount Agung will have a repeat of 1963's eruption.
2-star NFL quarterbacks made the headlines this week after wrapping up.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight. For Nick Tomarello, I'm Alex Grubbs. Have a great night.
Welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Nick Tomarello with your timely tech news. Spotify is now a public company on the New York Stock Exchange. The music streaming service directly listed onto the exchange under the ticker symbol SPOT on Tuesday. Now, this is unique because shareholders can sell their stock directly to the public instead of going through investment banks like most companies. The stock opened trading at $165.90 per share. According to the New York Times, the company was valued at $29.5 billion. CEO Daniel Ek said in a statement that normally companies ring the opening bell and spend their day doing interviews, touting why their stock is a good investment. Ek continued to say, quote, "Normally companies don't pursue a direct listing. While I appreciate that this path makes sense for most, Spotify has never been a normal kind of company." Apple Music is currently leading with a music catalog of 45 million songs compared to 35 million available on Spotify. With 157 million active users and 71 million subscribers, Spotify is on its way to dominate the music streaming business. And now finally, Facebook announced that they believe the data of up to 87 million users were shared with the data firm Cambridge Analytica. Now, this is a major increase to the original 50 million reported by the New York Times. Facebook users can actually download a copy of their data by following the steps outlined in a recent Facebook blog post. Well, there's everything you need to know in tech. Let's head over to Marley Pinchok with the latest entertainment wrap-up. Marley.
Thanks, Nick. Let's start off with the tea that's had everybody sipping since April 1st. And warning, this is not an April Fool's joke. Reality star Blac Chyna took her 2 kids, Dream and King Cairo, to Six Flags Magic Mountain in LA on Easter Sunday. Eyewitnesses report that an unidentified woman admired Dream while passing by, which totally set off Chyna. She immediately took off her jacket and swung her children's hot pink car stroller at the woman. Chyna's bodyguard, along with new teen rapper Bae, YBN Almighty J, had to physically hold her back. According to E! News, a park representative says a verbal and physical altercation broke out among 2 visiting groups, and both groups were escorted out of the park. The safety and security of our guests and employees is our top priority, and we have zero tolerance for this type of behavior. Chyna took to Instagram stories to explain her reasoning for her actions, saying, "I do not condone violence, nor am I a violent person. But when someone feels comfortable to come and touch your child, it's a whole other story. Shout out to all the amazing mothers out there that will protect their children at all costs. Love, King and Dreams, Mommy." Yes, every parent should make it their top priority to defend their children, but throwing your child's car stroller at someone is definitely not the classy move. In other celeb news, from the second Channing Tatum uploaded his last tweet on Monday night, fangirls have been in complete shock and tears. After being married for 9 years and having their beautiful daughter Everly, the hottest celeb couple, Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan, are officially splitting up. In a respectful letter uploaded to Tatum's Twitter, he explains their reasoning for going through with the divorce. He says, "We have lovingly chose to separate as a couple. There are no secrets or salacious events at the root of our decision. We are still a family and will always be loving, dedicated parents to Everly." Twitter users immediately trended the hashtag #LoveIsDead to express their loss of hope for lasting love. There's your entertaining entertainment news. Let's head back to the couch with Royce and Taylor.
Okay, Marley, thank you. No pink car strollers flying over here, but I can promise some more entertainment coming up after the break. Another musical guest is in the studio today to sing away some of the cold weather blues for you guys at home. More after the break.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paper boy, evening TV. You miss your old familiar friends, but waiting just around the bend. Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a love of somebody who needs you. When you're lost out there and you're all alone, life is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look.
Spending just 7 minutes climbing stairs each day cuts your risk of a heart attack in half over 10 years. Sure, elevators are convenient, but you burn twice the number of calories just going upstairs than you do while jogging. Think about how long you spend waiting for elevators. The average person spends the equivalent of 2 years waiting for elevators over the course of their lifetime. Don't let that be you. Save time and increase energy. Next time, take the stairs.
Let's go.
Today we have another musical performance here at Daybreak. We'd like to welcome Rishi, the lead singer of Pittsburgh band Eternal Boy. He's normally joined by 2 other band members, Joe and Andy, but they couldn't be here today, so we're getting a solo performance from Rishi. We'd like to welcome you.
Hello, how are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty all right. How about you? I'm sure you're...
I'm hot, but good.
Now, I'm curious, what first thing got you involved in music?
Well, I guess in high school and stuff, we were really into like the punk rock music scene, and we used to go to like local shows and like basements and dive places, and it kind of evolved into a semi full-time job.
Wait, how tight of a shot do you want?
Sorry, I was actually sitting here thinking, because when you say punk rock, I'm like, I hear that there's sort of like different variations of like the punk rock scene. So as you're saying that, I'm trying to figure out like which one that you might be able to piece yourself into.
Right. So we're not the punk rock with like the mohawks and the shaved heads. It's more of the happy, heartfelt, heartbroken pop punk.
Okay.
Technically it's called pop punk.
Okay.
So it's the happy version of punk rock music.
Pop punk, and I know that's why you're delivering us a love song I hear today.
That I am.
All right.
I am.
Well, without further ado, I'll have you take it away and kill it.
I'll try.
Don't you remember how we always said that things would end up differently? Now that I'm older, I know what went wrong. We were young and lost and felt so unbreakable. Oh, what a mess. I'm going over everything inside my head. Inside my head. You said that you'd always be there. Now I'm gonna face this alone. Spend the rest of eternity, find out what's right. As long as you know that I miss you tonight. Every night before I sleep, yeah, I think about the last time I saw you. 8 p.m. on Valentine's Day. The night is burned in the back of my memory. Oh, what a mess. I'm going over everything inside my head. Inside my head. You said that you'd always be there. Now I'm gonna face this alone. Spend the rest of eternity, find out what's right. As long as you know that I miss you tonight. Just as long as you know that I miss you tonight. face this alone. I'll spend the rest of eternity, find out what's right. As long as you know that I miss you tonight. You say, yeah, you say, you say, just as long as you know that I miss you tonight.
Right.
Wow, that was amazing.
Yes,
I love
it was.
that.
I see the vocal ability here. That was great. No wonder you're the lead singer. I can see the vocal talent.
Thanks a lot, Royce. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Now, that was just for tonight, right? And I know that you can get that song in really anywhere. Why don't you show them some of the places you can get it?
Yeah, you can get it on Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes. You can get it in stores at Best Buy. It's on an album we released 2 or 3 years ago. But we have a new album out right now called Awkward Phase 2. You can get pretty much anywhere.
Right, and that's not the only thing that you guys have coming up. You also have some exciting news.
Yeah, we're doing the Last Vans Warped Tour this summer. So, if anybody in the Pittsburgh area is around, we're doing it. It's on, I think it's the Pittsburgh date's July 17th. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe we'll get some. Taylor and I will have to come show some support.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, come hang.
Yeah.
You guys need.
Daybreak takes Warped Tour.
There you go. There you go.
All right, everybody. Well, that's it for Daybreak. Tune in next week for the news you need. I'm your host, Royce Jones.
And I'm your host, Taylor Fife, hoping your news is good news.